Nowadays, the notion that it is all about attitude is reflected in many areas of our lives. Also in youth work, we hear the greatest stories of growth, foremost as the stories of attitudinal change. For example, after a first youth exchange, those involved changed their attitude towards their peers as they could experience sincere cooperation and not a competition as they were used to. And this helps them build meaningful relationships at home. One of the simplest definitions describes attitude as a settled way of thinking or feeling about an attitude object. Attitude objects are what you have thoughts about and/or what you have feelings toward. It could be an idea, a situation, a concept, or a person. Attitudes arise from our inner framework of values and beliefs, developed over time. We're conscious of some of our attitudes and unconscious of some others, though they all affect our behaviours. Also, attitudes influence our motivation and engagement in our work. This makes them a complex psychological construct, and researchers have devoted a great deal of efforts to understanding attitudes, mainly because of their close relationship to human behaviour. For youth workers, attitudes are the foundation for competence development. Therefore, it is important to have a good understanding of what constitutes an attitude and how it relates to behaviour. One of the most cited theoretical models, the ABC model, suggests that attitude has three elements: affect, behaviour, and cognition, where affect denotes the individual's feelings and emotions about an attitude object. Behaviour denotes the individual's response or action towards an attitude object. Cognition denotes the thoughts and beliefs an individual has about an attitude object. We can put this theoretical model in practice when we want to get to know our attitudes. As the model says, we can do it by noticing behaviour, our own or of others, observing our emotions, and becoming aware of our thoughts and beliefs. It is important to say that we cannot notice these elements merely by observing ourselves. We need external triggers to ignite the process of self-awareness. The process starts when we're in contact with another person or involved in a situation which is unusual to us. One of the key lessons to be learned is that we need to rely on expressed behaviours. It means we assume attitudes based on observed behaviour. But if we want to know more, we can be curious and invite other persons to reflect on what was underlying the specific behaviour. For example, when we plan a youth exchange programme minute by minute and our fellow youth worker repeats, "We will see how it goes and then we will decide what to do next," we can perhaps notice that we start to be bothered and irritated about it. Sensing and being aware of that emotion makes us reflect about our attitude on how open we are to the unexpected and how ready we are to deal with uncertain situations during the youth exchange. Coming back to the professional development of youth workers, attitude plays a significant role in competence development as it directs our knowledge and skills to appropriate and contextual behaviour. The ETS competence model for youth workers to working internationally reflects the same understanding. In the competence model, behaviour encompasses attitudes and actions, knowledge and skills. Through behaviour, we can assess the competence level of the youth worker and whether it is sufficient for their work. In short, behaviour reflects our underlying attitudes as a youth worker, and our attitude is the start of changing our behaviour.